Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential wildcard draft for Game Week 14. So if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Leave a comment. Are you thinking of playing your wildcard this week? Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So starting things off, in goal we do have Strakosha and also Sanchez. We have dropped Areola from any potential drafts going forward because West Ham's defense is just absolutely abysmal at the moment. There's no need to play Matty Turner in goal as well as one of your options because he's also been dropped. I mean, he may regain his spot at some point. We did just concede 3 to Brighton, so maybe he gets the #1 spot again, but it's unlikely at this point in time. So Strakosha's just in there, 3.9 mil keeper. Don't have to worry about that. He's just a cheap option. Sanchez is your main goalkeeper option in this draft, and I know they have two pretty rough fixtures coming up. Brighton, I think, have scored and conceded in every single game this season, so unlikely to keep a clean sheet just going from stats. But that game is at home, so you never know. And then they've also got United away, so not ideal. And obviously, Areola does have a pretty nice fixture this week, which is like Crystal Palace at home or something like that. But then I think they've got like Spurs away, so it's not like you even are guaranteed any kind of clean sheets from those two fixtures. Plus, West Ham's defense has been absolutely tragic, as we all are aware by now. And then after that, Sanchez has an absolutely incredible run of fixtures, having Everton, Sheffield United, Wolves, Crystal Palace, Luton, Fulham. Liverpool's a bit tough, and then obviously Wolves and then Crystal Palace. So I think Sanchez is just a set and forget for those fixtures. The only worry with Sanchez is the potential that Chelsea go looking for a new goalkeeper in the January transfer window, but with the majority of these fixtures, they are all in December anyway. You've got up until Luton, they're all going to be December, because remember, we've got like 6 or 7 game weeks in December. We've got obviously December the 6th coming up, which is Game Week 15. We've got Game Week 14 on the 3rd, then one on the 6th, then one on the 10th, then 16th, 24th, 27th, and 30th, which is what we, like, content creators are trying to, like, tell you that when we've got a lot of game weeks, we have a lot of game weeks, and it's so important to have a starting 11 that are going to be playing every single game. So that's when your players like Alvarez, your Fodens, your Grealishes, whatever, Doku, where they are most likely going to get rotated, you don't really want them over the Christmas period because you can't guarantee those minutes. Whereas players like, you know, Mbumo, Son, Salah, those players are going to be playing every single fixture because they can't afford to miss one. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the December is just hectic for FPL, but I think Sanchez is a really good option going forward, and hopefully quite a few clean sheets in Chelsea's future there. So those are the goalkeeper options. I mean, you could go Areola if you did want to, but I just personally don't see the point of wildcarding and having him in the squad. Yes, West Ham's fixtures are good, but that's probably more from an attacking point of view, like Bowen, if he's fit, could do something like that. Anyway, those are the goalkeeper options. At the back, we have Saliba, Lascelles, Porro, Tsimikas, and Taylor as well. So Saliba's in there just because he's the most nailed Arsenal defender. You could go Gabriel if you wanted to. He is currently 4.9. It would save you 0.6. I have, as you can see, 0.2 mil in this draft. So yeah, you very well could play Gabriel instead and have a little bit more money. Or if you just can't afford Saliba either, you could always drop down to Gabriel, maybe a Zinchenko if you really wanted to. But I've just gone for Saliba just because he's less likely to get rotated over this Christmas period as well, and you need a player that's going to be playing every single game. Lascelles is also in this draft. Again, a player that's not going to get rotated just because of the injuries that Newcastle have. And they've also got some pretty nice fixtures coming up. 4.1 mil as well, I think, is an absolute steal. Porro is on this draft. I know the fixtures aren't ideal. I mean, you don't have to play him this week because he's got Man City. You could very well play like Saliba, Tsimikas, and Taylor this week if you really wanted to. But Porro is on there just because of his attacking potential. You know, on set pieces, whilst Maddison's not fit. And as well as that, his stats have been absolutely ridiculous. Like in the Aston Villa game, he had an expected assist of 0.44 and an XG of 0.2, 0.62 in the Wolves game, 0.34 expected assists in the Chelsea game. His numbers have been very, very good. And yeah, Spurs defensively aren't great at the moment, but I think from an attacking point of view, I think Porro is a player definitely to take a look at 100%. And I mean, the fixtures aren't, like, you don't have to play him in the City game. Then they've got West Ham at home. Then they've got Forest and Everton as well coming up. And he is also fixture-proof as well. Like, he's going to be playing every single fixture just because of the injuries and the suspensions that Spurs have at the moment. So yeah, you don't really have to worry about that. Whereas a player like Udogie might get hooked early or something like that, whereas Porro just simply won't. So yeah, he's on there for that reason. Tsimikas as well. He might potentially get rotated, which is why your bench has to be relatively strong, and the bench for this draft is strong as well. They are all going to be playing most likely. So yeah, Simicast has some nice fixtures coming up. A little bit worse over the Christmas period though. Obviously he has United and Arsenal, and like I say, these fixtures are coming thick and fast. But he's just a nice option to have on your bench if it is a tough fixture, or obviously just to play. And then Taylor as well, actually got some really nice fixtures. Burnley do. I mean, like I say, Sheffield United at home this weekend is arguably the best fixture you could get in FPL this season. So if you're going to play him, it's going to be this week. And as well as that, when City and Brentford blank in game week 18, you do have Fulham away for Taylor, which is an okay fixture. Whereas if you played someone like Kabore, I think he has a pretty tough fixture. I think it's Newcastle at home. So that's why I've gone for Taylor. You could go Kabore instead if you really wanted to. It's just I'm playing the fixture there for that blank game week, because you're probably going to have to play Taylor in that week regardless, just because you're going to have a couple of blanks with the likes of your City and your Brentford players. Anyway, though, that is the back line. In midfield, we've gone Saka, Mbeumo, Salah, Son, and Palmer. Palmer, I'll start with him. I probably would rather go Gordon. I just think that Palmer is more likely to be rotated over the Christmas period, and I think Gordon is less likely. They're very close, though. The numbers are very, very close. Palmer's XG is obviously better, but that's with penalties. Non-pen XG, I think Gordon is a lot better, but obviously Palmer is on penalties. Palmer is cheaper. They do have some really nice fixtures coming up. Gordon does as well. It's very much whoever you'd want to go with, rather. Like, obviously, for this draft, if you wanted Gordon, you just downgrade Saliba to a Gabriel. That would give you enough money to upgrade Palmer to a Gordon. I think just the right amount. So, yeah, that's obviously one way you could look at it. You could always just bring in Areola instead of Sanchez as well. I don't like that idea that much, but you could always do that if you did, like, 100% want Gordon instead of Palmer. Another player you could always target is Hechan as well, just simply because he's 5.6. And they have some nice fixtures coming up as well. They've got like Burnley and Forest both at home coming up very, very soon. And he's potentially also on penalties. So, yeah, there's a good couple of options there around the 5.5 price range. But Palmer, I think, maybe if you're looking for a cheap option with good fixtures coming up on pens, should be playing most games, then you obviously Palmer is your player. Son is also on this wildcard draft as well. I wouldn't drop Son. I think that he's been very unlucky. Like I say, he just scored 3 offside goals. If any of those counted, then no one would be selling him this week, and people would still be like praising him and stuff like that. I think he is still one of the best assets in FPL this year, and I know that, like I say, he's blanked 2 or 3 times in a row now. May blank again against City, which is obviously going to infuriate people even more. But with the fixtures coming up over the Christmas period, he's a nailed player, going to be on penalties as well, most likely. I don't think I could make a wildcard draft without Son. I think he's just too good. Salah as well, no brainer. He's obviously on penalties, going to be playing every single game. He may get hooked early, like 70th, 80th minute, especially if Liverpool are like 2-3 up. But apart from that, I still think he is arguably the best asset in the game, on par with like Haaland and stuff like that. But yeah, Salah in this draft. Also, all this midfield on penalties as well, which is also very, very nice. We've got Mbeumo as well. Again, you can't really drop him. I think you have to bring him in. Even if you're not on a wild card this week, he should be on pretty much everybody's transfer list 100%. He's just so good. Luton at home, one of the best fixtures of the season. On penalties, numbers are ridiculous for his price point. Only 7 mil. As you can see, a lot of people have been raving about him, and for good reason as well. He's just one of the best options to have an FPL around that price point this year. And then Saka as well on penalties. Yeah, XG hasn't been too good. But his expected assists are still up there. Nice fixtures coming up. Should be playing every single game. He may get subbed early in a few of them, just like Salah if they are winning. But Arsenal being top of the table, they're going to want to win all of these games over the Christmas period, and they're going to need their best players to be able to do that. So Saka is going to be hopefully on the field a lot more than he isn't. So that is the midfield there. And then obviously up top, we do have Archer, Watkins, and Haaland. Haaland, obviously a no-brainer, has to be in this draft for me. Watkins is very much up for debate. If you want a definite 90-minute player, or around like an 85 to 90-minute player, and obviously playing really, really well this season in form, yeah, the fixtures aren't ideal, but he can obviously score in any game. And I think Watkins obviously is your man. Isak is another option as well if you did want to go for a little bit cheaper. We do know that Wilson is most likely going to be back in the middle of December, so right in the middle of like all that busy schedule. And obviously, once Wilson's back, Isak's minutes are going to plummet. For right now, he's a good option, especially because he has been playing like 80 last week. I think he played most of the game in the Champions League last night as well. But I think his minutes are just a little bit still... I don't know, when Wilson's back, it's just, you know, who's going to play, we just generally don't know. Obviously, on penalties and stuff whilst Wilson isn't there, but I just think he's too risky at this point in time. I think Watkins is still the much better option. And then, obviously, Archer is your last option. I mean, another player you could think about bringing in instead of Archer is Semenyo for Bournemouth. His minutes have been getting better, you know, 68, 19, 80, 65. He has been scoring goals, been getting assists, stuff like that. And I think that if you did want someone a little bit different to Archer, then obviously he is an option. But of course, with the minutes, it is kind of all over the place. But over the Christmas period, he probably will get some nice minutes. But yeah, it is quite risky. But that is another option if you did want to bring in someone as well. Obviously, Chris Wood is still a little bit of an option as well if you did want to spend a little bit more. The fixtures coming up are really, really nice for Forest. It's just Chris Wood. I mean, as a Forest fan, I'm not his biggest fan at all. I don't really like him as a player. I don't think he's good enough for the Prem. He's been thrown around Prem clubs left, right, and centre, and I don't think he's the greatest option. He's obviously not on pens or anything like that, like Gibbs White is on pens. If you're going to get someone from Forest, it would have to be Gibbs White for me. I think he'd be a much better option, and he's more likely to get you points. But either way, that is the wildcard draft for Game Week 14. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider hitting the like button down below. Let's try and hit 50 likes. It does really help out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on this wildcard draft. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. Hopefully, can hit 10k by the end of the season. We're pushing for it, so let's see if we can do it. But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. And until next time, peace.